Good evening. Here are the daily headlines, presented clearly and in English, with each topic followed by a concise 3 to 4 line summary you can read aloud. Topic 1. The headlines are dominated by a worsening U.S. Iran crisis that is driving energy and market volatility. Oil prices and yields jumped. U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran have escalated Middle East tensions, effectively halting tanker traffic through the Strait of Hormuz and sharply raising global energy supply fears. Oil jumped sharply, with WTI and Brent trading in the low to mid 80s per barrel in many reports, and markets reacted with heightened volatility as supply disruption concerns spiked. Stocks and risk assets plunged. U.S. markets saw the Dow drop about 1.6%, roughly 785 points, while global volatility surged, and U.S. Treasury yields rose, 10-year 4.18%, 30-year 4.78%, pushing 30-year mortgage rates above the 6.1% range. The shock fed into higher gasoline prices. U.S. averaged $3.25 gal. Extreme swings in Asian markets. Korea's Husby experienced intraday swings of roughly 12 to 10% and prompted governments to consider SPR releases, market interventions, and naval escorts while diplomatic moves with China and others continued. Topic 2. The economy lost about 92,000 jobs in February. U.S. payrolls fell by roughly 92,000 in February, and the unemployment rate ticked up to 4.4%, driven in part by the Kaiser Healthcare Union strike, 31,000 jobs lost, severe weather, and a partial reversal of January's temporary gains. Revisions cut prior months, January down from 130K to 126K, and December revised drastically from plus 48 to minus 17K, reducing the prior 2 months' net jobs by about 69,000. Job losses were concentrated in healthcare, leisure and hospitality, construction and manufacturing, while wage growth remained at a monthly 0.4%, 3.8% year over year, leaving mixed signals on labor tightness. The report signals a softening labor market that complicates Fed policy decisions, and rising energy-driven inflation risks from the Middle East could further delay rate cuts. Topic 3. The Pentagon's supply chain designation of Anthropic and the company's planned legal challenge. The U.S. Department of Defense officially designated Anthropic and its Claude models as a supply chain risk, effective immediately, saying the company's use restrictions could limit lawful military uses. Anthropic's CEO Dario Amodei called the move without legal basis and announced plans to sue, arguing their bans on full autonomy weapons and mass domestic surveillance are narrowly scoped and do not impede military operations. The designation is unprecedented for a U.S. firm and forces DoD contractors to certify they do not use Claude for Pentagon work, though interpretations suggest the restriction may be limited to direct defense contract use rather than broad commercial bans. Microsoft said it can keep offering Anthropic products to non-DoD customers. Some defense contractors are cutting Claude use, and the coming court fight and agency interpretations will determine broader industry and contracting impacts. Topic 4. Data centers could become military targets, signaling tighter scrutiny of AI vendors and infrastructure. Drone strikes tied to the Iran conflict hit AWS data centers in the UAE and Bahrain, causing outages for banks, payment systems, and corporate apps. Some services were later restored, but disruptions lingered. The attacks underscore that data centers, like energy and telecoms, are becoming strategic targets, and the proliferation of drone technology makes physical threats to digital infrastructure more plausible. Governments already treating data centers as critical infrastructure. U.S., U.K., EU are likely to tighten security rules and incorporate centers into national security planning, increasing regulatory and protection obligations. For AI vendors and cloud providers, this means deeper scrutiny of supply chains and infrastructure resilience, and experts recommend multi-region replication, stronger disaster